Hello everyone and welcome to another Starcraft 2 livecast. I'm going to be playing and commentating live here on the North American ladder. Looks like we got, Imp NA.
Not enough minerals.
What's going on? Go ahead.
Not enough minerals.
So it's Clan Tag, gives away the ladder run. Really bad TvT map for me, but I think all the maps now are bad for TvT that I have set up. Luckily my TvT isn't... It causes me to lose some games on other maps I wouldn't, but other than that, you know, typical games still go more or less the same. I mean, it does cut into my win rate though. If I'm losing an extra 5-10% of games and my average win rate's 50%, then all of a sudden we're well under 50% now. Really late on that depot. I gotta remember on Yonsu to send out that SCV earlier. So we're gonna be supply capped on 11 for about 5 seconds.
Additional supply depots required. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Well, butter my biscuit. SCV ready.
So let's watch the minimap for an SCV. Because if an SCV scout is coming, I need to wall off early. But it's not, so oh no, there, yes it is. So wall off early.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bad news. Will do. SCV ready. This is crazy. Sure thing. Yep. Yes, sir. We hear you. SCV ready.
All right.
This is your plan. SCV ready.
Base is under attack.
Ah! You scared me. Armed and ready. I feel ya. Big job, huh?
Little less likely is going Reaper just because he did the SCV scout. It's usually something you don't have to do when you're opening Reaper.
Go, go, go!
Not enough minerals.
You gonna give me orders? SCV ready. Go ahead. Man, big job, huh? Who wants some?
Our SCVs are under attack.
SCV ready. Huh? This better be good. What's going on? By the numbers, boys. SCV ready. Gangway, coming through. Been waiting on you. Who won? Armed and ready. SCV ready.
Alright. A little bit late bringing this scout in.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Fortunately did get a SCV kill there though, which kind of sucks.
This better be good. SCV ready.
I think I saw something crossing the map there. Let's get a bunker.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Oh, whoops, I pulled back that SCV by accident.
SCV ready. Ah, you scared
What am I
me.
missing? A turret ring, right.
Huh? SCV ready.
1, 2,
Base is under attack.
4.
Move it.
Research complete.
SCV ready. In the rear with the gear.
Upgrade complete.
SCV ready. What's going on? Woo-hoo! Go ahead.
Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Go ahead. SCV ready. Ah! You scared me! Huh? Bad news. SCV ready. Roger.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Okay, so he expanded fast.
What's
So
going on?
I'm really far behind on my third. I should have had this so long ago.
Our SCVs
Not only did he
are
make
under
the orbital on the
attack.
high ground, I missed it. But then I didn't even know he made the orbital on the high ground, so he's probably already have his third halfway or close to done. And then I'm supposed to have my third done before he even starts his. So, not good for me.
Additional supply depots required.
I guess it will allow me a couple extra
Add-on
ravens early,
complete.
but that doesn't really help me. I need the economy, not the ravens.
Big job, huh?
Not enough minerals. Additional supply depots required.
Alright, luckily he went into Cloak Banshee. So that's good.
Base is under attack. Base is under attack. Add-on complete.
Will do. What's going on? Yep.
Additional supply depots required.
Alright, just a little poke out here by him.
Base is under attack. Research complete. Base is under attack. Base is under attack. Supply depots required. Base is under attack. Additional supply depots required. Add-on complete. Additional supply depots
Engaging.
Additional supply depots required. Base is under attack.
No problem.
Ben? Go ahead. What's going on?
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Upgrade complete.
Okay, so I've been able to sneak up these expos, which is kind of nice. good time to
Add-on
transfer workers.
complete.
Yes, sir. Huh? Yep. In the rear with the gear.
Upgrade
SCV
complete.
ready. What's going on?
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Yeah?
Not enough minerals.
Ah, go. Bad news. Huh? Big job, huh?
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV ready. SCV ready. SCV ready. We'll butter
Upgrade.
up
Our
SCV.
SCVs are under attack.
Whoops, I just clumped up for all the Thors.
Research complete.
Alright.
Big job, huh?
Base is under attack.
Is that it? All day long. In the rear with the gear. Trouble. I'm in a heap of trouble. Ready to raise some hell.
Unacceptable landing zone.
SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
So he's expanding that way.
Ready for service.
So I'm gonna swing these guys up here.
Some hell. SCV ready.
Upgrade complete.
SCV ready. All day long.
Mineral field
SCV
depleted.
ready. Smoking. Ready to raise some hell. Let's do this.
Raven online.
Insufficient Vespene gas. Insufficient Vespene gas.
Overtime.
Wait.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Oh man.
Upgrade
Battlefield
complete.
conditions. Commencing. Order.
Base is under attack. Your forces are under attack. Base is under attack. Your forces are under attack.
Yes, sir. I'm in a heap of trouble. What's going on? Bad news.
Base is under attack.
Where's the hot action?
Your forces are under attack. Base is under attack. Research complete.
He's still making stuff out of these production facilities, which is kind of hilarious. It's actually best to take out the Marauders here, because they're going to be repairing my SCVs. Killing my SCV, repairing SCVs, I mean.
I'm waiting on you.
Ready for service. Commencing.
Are you ready for this?
This vessel requires assistance.
Smoking.
Oh shoot, didn't notice that.
This vessel.
I think he's looking pretty dead here.
Scanning battlefield conditions.
So am I, though.
Forces under attack.
Loud and clear. Weapons hot.
SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespine gas.
Bad news. In the rear with the gear. SCV ready. Uh-huh.
Alright, what do I got for army?
Awaiting orders.
Everything to the BCs.
Mineral field depleted.
SCV ready. What's going on? What is it?
Oh, holy, SCV's idle.
SCV ready.
Insufficient Vespine gas. Mineral field depleted.
SCV ready.
Oof. He didn't expand the way I expected him to. So I had to come in from a different angle there. But like I said in previous videos, if you get auto turrets over his production line, he either has to give up the whole area, like float off all the production, fly somewhere else, reland it, rebuild the add-ons, and then start the production again, or he has to bring his army back and engage it. Because if he just sit there making units, even if you get rid of the rally points, where as soon as the unit pops out, it starts attacking, it's just going to get shredded. Because like every time a unit pops out, there's like 8 auto turrets attacking it. So that's what he did. He was still bringing in money, and he was still like spending all his money on his production, but it didn't matter because the money he was spending on his production was just instantly dying. That was a little annoying. Usually I don't block the place he came in last time because they usually don't do it twice. But in this case, I know he knew he took out the SCV building this, so I'd have to send another SCV there, so he probably thought he might have another target. So this is unfortunate. I lost my scout up here because I did a select all idle SCVs hockey and ended up grabbing this one. If I leave him on hold position or on a little patrol, he won't show up as idle. It's probably best I do that. Now I come here and find out he built the command center on the high ground and he turned it into an orbital. Which, wow, I'm kind of lagged here. There we go. Which is bad enough already. Like when I spot a command, like an orbital floating to low ground that I didn't know he built. I feel late in my third, but this time he did that and I didn't spot it, so my third field's way behind. So his third's actually ahead of mine, and he didn't even really take it quickly. He took it slowly. Siege tanks are so loud. I mean, it's fine for me right now, but I know you can't hear my voice over siege tanks. Replays are louder than in-game volume for some reason. Oh, just spotted that at the last second. I think 4 kills. He may have only killed a marine, like 1 SCV and then 3 Marines or something like that. He was smart enough to take out that, which meant he can come in with his Banshee. That kind of sucked. I put down this here, and then I wanted to put 2 Seeker missiles on each siege tank, but I think one of my Seeker missile Ravens threw down this, and I only had 2 Seeker missiles left, so I hit both of them and killed neither. So I got a little bit lucky here. I mean, I guess if you're in lower league, you can kind of do this, where you just throw down auto turret to finish it off. But it's kind of lucky because there's really he could have pulled his Marines over before I could have even killed 1 siege tank. He must be looking elsewhere. Yeah. Setting up the overkill turret ring here.
Armed and ready. SCV ready. Go, go, go!
I was able to sneak up a 4th as well. I built another quick command center here just in case he pushed my ramp. I was going to turn it into a planetary, but he didn't push my ramp, so I'm like, okay, let's try to set up a 4th. He wasn't spotting my 3rd, so he might not be spotting my 4th either. So that worked out well. So this got me back to where I want to be economically. Oh man, I think that sat there all game. I remember seeing this late in the game. I assumed it had nothing in it, but apparently it's full of Marines. That was kind of stupid. I was throwing my SCVs away from the Marines for so long that the planetary went down. I'd rather lose my SCVs and get as much repair out of them as possible than lose my planetary then lose SCVs pointlessly afterwards. At least I could have gotten added a couple hundred hit points to the PF before the PF went down. Kill off some more of this bio. So this kind of put me in a tough spot. I see the Thors and frantically throwing down stuff. I usually have +1 armor on my air by now, but I forgot the armory as well. Usually as soon as I see a Thor, I add my 2nd armory and a fusion core. Ooh, that worked out pretty well. So that's the end of those bases. He has some production on here, so I threw on some auto turrets to deal with whatever pops out of the starports. Looks like he just added a lot of production, but he just lost his whole economy, so he spent all this money on adding more production, but having lost this base and now this base, he has no way he can afford that production. So it's kind of wasted money in production. He's throwing it down in anticipation of his economy getting bigger, but it actually got smaller. And now, obviously, he can't do anything out of his production because it's just overloaded with auto turrets. Seeker Missile does 100 damage, which is pretty pathetic versus the Thor. But if you did happen to drop a Seeker on a Thor, keep an eye on it later for Yamato cannon, because Yamato does 300 damage, right? So the Seeker knocks it down to 300, and then the Yamato does the perfect amount to finish it off. Oh, I just took out that siege tank as the planetary died. Siege tank's DPS is actually really high, 28 damage per second, which is more, well, almost 28. It's like 23, and then because of the armor on the planetary, and we'll say 22 because it's not exactly per second. Weapon speed's a little bit less, and it shoots a little bit less than per second. Anyways, yeah, 23 damage per or 22 damage per second is still really high. A siege tank actually does more damage unsieged than sieged versus armored units and structures. So maybe if I took down that siege tank, I would have had enough SCVs at that point to catch up on the repair. I don't know, 5 Thors, but they only have +1, and Marauders only have +1 as well. Would have been close. Tanks, even though they don't do bonus armored versus Hellions, are pretty darn good versus Hellions, because Hellions are terrible versus anything except light units. This is supposed to be a PF to its emergency defense. That's not going to happen. I figure this is his last mining base. You can see he's still producing units, right? Like, these things are popping out and they're dying. Dead, 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 dead. So now I have one battle cruiser, a couple more on the way, I think. Yeah, 2 more on the way, and that's it. So there I did Yamato that Thor that was low. Now this is kind of not obvious, but when you're in a spot like this, where, you know, his ground to air is going to kill your air to ground, and you're reliant on SCV repair, if you're reliant on SCV repair, you want to kill things like Hellbats and Marauders and Siege tanks with your battle cruisers. Like the things that don't shoot at your battle cruisers is the stuff you want to kill first. And the reason for that is the key to this army working is the SCV repair. If you lose the SCVs, it's over. And I know these Marauders obviously have no other target besides SCVs, so they're going to be shooting at the SCVs. So that's why I quickly take the Marauders, and now the SCV repair is going to go well. I mean, he can focus the SCVs with his Thors, but he has to do it manually. From what I can tell, there's 2 things that are involved for the AI of selecting a target. One is the threat priority of a target. So obviously, like an attacking unit like a battle cruiser has a higher threat priority than like a supply depot. So attacking units are first, so like Marines, then other units, or sorry, then and included in attacking units is things like missile turrets and planetary fortresses and stuff like that. Then after that is other units, passive units like SCVs. Then after that is structures. But whenever an SCV is repairing something, it takes the threat priority of that thing it's repairing. So when an SCV is repairing a battle cruiser, it has the same threat priority as a battle cruiser. So based on that alone, Thor is just as likely to shoot at a SCV as it is to shoot at a battle cruiser. But the other thing I've noticed, which isn't really written anywhere, but you can just tell from battles, is that a unit will always attack. Like when it's choosing a target, it'll always choose a target that can attack it back. So if there's a Marauder and a Marine on the ground, they're both the same threat priority. But if a Mutalisk comes flying over, the Mutalisk is going to attack the Marine first because the Marine can shoot back. So based on that, these Thors are going to attack the battle cruisers before the SCVs because the battle cruisers can shoot the Thor. So anyways, he's pulling back, but he's pretty devastated. He didn't lift his production, so all his production's dead. He also spent all his money pumping it into the production, so money was like he's got this thing going for him. He can make a Viking. Oh, all turrets go down. He has 1 harvester. He has 0 harvesters. Oh, he found that medevac. The one that was hanging out over here all game long. But it looks like he has 1 medevac. Well, I guess we need to bring up the units tab. 10 Marines, 1 tank, 3 Thors. So he's in rough shape and having to rebuild his production. Looks like from scratch. He doesn't have, yeah, so he can't make any factories or starports right now because he doesn't have a barracks or a factory. And when I clear that ramp, he GG's out. Yeah, that would be pretty difficult for him to hold against. Does he have any missile turrets here? No. Yes, he looks pretty dead. And even if he could hold, say he had missile turrets there, I've actually just jumped back to 4 bases again. With 35 harvesters versus 7, I'm going to get a pretty good gas intake going. Wonder how long that's been like that for. Let's see. This geyser's down to 100. This one still has 500, so it's been like that for a while. Especially since... No, I took the geysers at the same time. I don't know when that happened. I must have pulled SCVs to the front at some point and did that. Yeah, I'm going to be back on 8 gas in a second. Well, 7, because this one's about to die. So that'll be pretty good for battlecruiser production, and I already have... No, I don't have the minerals. I was about to say I already have plenty of minerals, but not this game. He had plenty of minerals. Look at all those barracks getting thrown down. He has 2 command centers and 5 barracks in production, including one he already made. So this could have continued on to some sort of game if he did something about this. Either pull his whole army back and deal with the auto turrets. It's a little bit hard to do with the speed of Thor's being pretty bad. Or just abandon ship. You know, cancel all your production on these, like cancel all the units being produced here and just lift off all your, you know, barracks and factories and starports and go lay them down. I don't know, like here or something. That will mean your army won't be growing for a long time, so you gotta move them all, you gotta float them, you gotta land them, you gotta put add-ons back on them. But he would have had a lot of money available once he did land it, and he would have had the production still available. As you can see, he's got 4K in the bank right now. You can probably tell he doesn't go Thors often. It was probably reactive Thors, what I was doing, so he wasn't. Or maybe he maxed out and I missed it. I may have maxed out before. But for some reason he's got big mineral float. Looks like he definitely has enough barracks that if he wants to spam Marines to spend through that money, he could have. If he kept the barracks production going. I guess he kind of shut it down in place to get Thors and didn't know what to do with the minerals when he was that gas heavy. One thing he did have is supply. I never really touched his supply. That's he had for the late game. Not much left to say. So the fact that he comes back means his armies just going to keep getting slowly and slowly smaller and smaller. So all this like repair I'm doing on the PF actually came in a little bit handy. The Marines usually come to the front and the Marines die quickly, so he lost his whole Marine force in the process of taking out the planetaries, which meant his battlecruisers versus you know, tanks, siege tanks, and tanks, Thors and Marauders, which is pretty good for battlecruisers, not having to face a ton of stim Marines. I don't think the Thors ever switched to high impact mode either, which makes them more effective versus BCs, at least BCs in small numbers. I don't know. Against almost any other unit, I think being in this mode is better. Like, I think this mode is almost always better versus Vikings, because if you can even splash 2 other Vikings, you're doing more damage. Even if Vikings have like high maxed armor. But I guess versus BCs, you always want to be in the other mode, because if the battlecruiser has 6 armor, these javelin missiles are pretty pathetic. They do 9 damage when they're at 3 great attack, so the 6 armor knocks it down to 3. But if you're splashing other battlecruisers, who knows? Or if you're splashing even something with lower armor like Ravens or Vikings that happen to be near the battlecruisers. And this splash damage does amazing versus Ravens. Because it's actually, Ravens are light units, right? So they're doing 14 damage per attack plus the splash. And I think splash damage from Thor's, like the area it splashes, I think it does 100% damage to that whole area. I think. I could be wrong, but I believe that's true. Although it's a very small slash area, it's kind of similar to like an Archon. Maybe it doesn't do 100% the whole thing. Maybe just when I stack my units on top of each other, they end up doing the maximum damage to all of them because they're all right in the bullseye part of it. But typical splash damage has like, the inner ring does 100 damage, and then the next ring does 50 damage, and then the next ring does, 100% damage, 50% damage, and then the last ring does 25% damage. That's the typical breakdown. There are splash units where it's always 100%. Like Hellions, for instance, they do like a line attack, and everything within that line is 100% damage. Widow mines function differently too. I was ready for this. I added the extra missile turret. Just waiting for it. Never came. I think I added another missile turret here too, so I could see it leave. I didn't realize it was that low in hit points though. I didn't need the extra missile turret. As soon as that thing even poked its head in, it's dead. Doesn't know what I have here. So if he did remember this medevac, he probably would have lost it. So it's good for him that he forgot about it. So these Hellions clean up 2 bases. 2, 11, 23, 26, 39. They're both 13? Okay. 39, 40, 52. 52 kills between these Hellions. All SCVs. I don't even think they're done yet. So save these 2 and just kind of throw them behind the mineral line. Eventually. I didn't want to, because I wasn't sure if I could make this turn. Like when I pass by here, if the PF shot, I'm dead. I think a mule and a couple more SCVs. GG. Okay, I've delayed enough at the end of this. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button because I put out many videos a week. It's up to maybe more like 5 or 6 a week now, though I usually say 3 or 4 a week. I guess it depends how motivated I am. What else? In the description below, there'll be a thumbs up link, something cool in the Starcraft 2 world for you to look at, and something for you to hit that like button. I guess it's a like button. It's not really thumbs up anymore, is it? Or is it +1? Has Google Plus taken over YouTube? Kind of has. Maybe it's a +1 now. Who knows? Also in there you can see details to my Facebook and Twitter and stream, and then donation link. And yeah, that's about it. So thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time, and goodbye.